All right, let's talk about something that every researcher knows and, let's be honest, probably hates. It's that moment when your actual research is done, but now you have to make the diagrams. It can bring a project to a screeching halt, right? It's just so tedious. Well, what if an AI could just do it for you? There's a new system that promises exactly that, and today we're going to break down how it works.
I mean, seriously, anyone who has ever spent an hour just trying to get boxes and arrows to line up perfectly in PowerPoint or Figma, you're going to feel this quote deep in your soul. It just perfectly captures that frustration, doesn't it? You're trying to make this one single publication quality figure. And the crazy thing is, it's a skill nobody ever really teaches you, but you absolutely have to have it to get published.
And look, this isn't just some small annoyance. We are talking about a brutal time sink. The paper itself points out that researchers can spend anywhere from 4 to 8 hours, that's a full workday, on a single figure. Just one. I mean, that is just precious time that could be going into the actual research, the next big idea. It's a huge bottleneck for science. So that really gets us to the heart of the problem, what we can call the diagram dilemma. For years, researchers have been caught between a rock and a hard place, People have tried to automate this before, but, well, it just hasn't really worked out.
Yeah, the problem really came down to two main ways things went wrong. First, you had your code-based tools. Now, these were great for being precise, but the final diagrams, they often look kind of clunky, Not visually appealing at all. Then on the other side, you had your standard AI image generators. They could make absolutely beautiful pictures, but they were terrible with the structure. Arrows would point to the wrong place, the text would be all garbled, stuff like that. You basically had to choose. You could get precision, or you could get nice aesthetics, but you could never get both at the same time.
And that is exactly where PaperBanana enters the scene. This thing, which was developed by a team from Peking University and Google Cloud AI, is a totally new way of looking at the problem. We're not just talking about another tool here. This is a whole new approach.
And wow, did the research community notice. This was not some dusty academic paper that nobody read. No, this thing exploded online. I mean, we're talking thousands of stars on GitHub, more than 500,000 views on a single Twitter thread. And get this, the open source community rebuilt the entire thing from scratch in just a couple of days. It's safe to say this really hit a nerve.
So you gotta ask, what's the big deal? What made this so special? Well, the answer is just a really clever idea at its core. Instead of trying to build one giant do-it-all AI, the creators thought, what if we build something more like an AI design agency?
The big idea here is pretty simple when you think about it. Complex, creative work, it's not usually done by one person trying to do everything, right? It's done by a team of specialists. You've got your project manager, your graphic designer, your art director. PaperBanana's brilliant idea was to just copy that exact same workflow, but with a team of specialized AI agents instead.
Okay, so let's pop the hood on this AI agency and see how it actually works. It's a 5-step process, and it's a really fascinating look at how you can break down a super complex task into smaller jobs for an AI to handle.
So here's the whole team in a nutshell. First, a retriever finds inspiration. Then, a planner maps out the content. A stylist decides on the look and feel. A visualizer actually draws the thing. And finally, a critic checks the work and asks for revisions. It's just a perfect logical workflow.
So let's meet the team, starting with the retriever. You can think of this one as the research intern. Its only job is to sift through this huge library of existing diagrams from top research papers and pull out the 2 best examples. And here's the key. It's not looking for similar topics, it's looking for a similar layout or structure.
Okay, next up we have a duo that actually works at the same time. The planner is like the project manager. It takes the raw text you give it and turns that into a structured blueprint. What boxes go where, how they're all connected. At the exact same time, the stylist is acting like the graphic designer. It's creating what they call an aesthetic guideline that defines everything from the color palette to the fonts to the shape of the boxes.
Now, this is where the real magic happens. You have the visualizer, that's your production artist, which takes the plan and actually renders the image. But it doesn't just stop there. As soon as it's done, the critic, playing the role of the art director, jumps in and inspects it for any and all errors. Is it clear? Is it accurate? Does it match the text? Then it sends feedback to the visualizer, which tries again. This whole loop repeats 3 times, getting better and better with each pass.
So the whole system sounds incredibly clever, right? I mean, it's very well designed. But the big question is, does it actually work? Let's take a look at the hard data from their tests. This is the number you need to see, 72.7%. In blind A/B tests, human researchers were shown a diagram made by PaperBanana and one from a more standard AI model. And they preferred PaperBanana's version almost 3/4 of the time. I mean, that is a landslide. It proves this isn't just a fun gimmick, it's genuinely better.
And when you dig into why it's better, the numbers get even more interesting. Sure, it saw nice bumps in readability and aesthetics, but look at that monster jump in conciseness, over 37%. That means the system is just brilliant at cutting out the fluff and focusing only on what's essential. And that, right there, is the sign of a great scientific diagram.
The researchers also did something called an ablation study, which is a fancy way of saying they wanted to prove that every member of their AI team was absolutely necessary. So they ran the tests again, but each time they removed one agent, and the results speak for themselves. You take out the retriever, the scores plummet. You take out the stylist, conciseness tanks. And if you remove the critic, the diagrams aren't even accurate anymore. Every single agent has a critical job to do.
And this quote from the paper really sums up the secret sauce of the whole system. It's this beautiful creative tension. You have the stylist, which is always pushing to make things simpler and more elegant, and then you have the critic, which is always pulling it back, making sure that it stays technically accurate. It's a perfect balance, and it's exactly how the best human creative teams work.
So let's zoom out for a second. What does a tool like PaperBanana really mean for the future of research? Because this isn't just about making prettier pictures. This is about the arrival of what you might call the automated scientist.
And it's really important to realize, PaperBanana didn't happen in a vacuum. It was part of this sudden wave. I mean, in the span of just a few weeks, a handful of different systems all trying to solve this exact same problem just appeared out of nowhere. This signals a real inflection point. The technology to automate this kind of work is here, and it showed up all at once.
Now let's be real about the limitations, because it's definitely not perfect. For one thing, it only makes raster images, like a JPEG or a PNG, which means you can't easily go in and edit them. Its style is also very biased towards computer science papers, and probably its biggest weakness is that it still gets arrows and connections wrong sometimes, and what's worse, its own critic agent often fails to even notice those mistakes. So the big takeaway here is that PaperBanana and tools like it aren't here to replace researchers. They're here to complement them. The best way to think about it is as an incredibly powerful first draft tool. It can take you from a blank page to about 80% of the way there in just a few minutes. That frees up the human expert to focus on that last crucial 20%, the fine-tuning, the nuance, and the final judgment calls.
And that leaves us with a final, really fascinating question to think about. As AI gets better and better at automating these creative and technical tasks that used to be only for humans, what happens to the role of the researcher? What becomes the most valuable thing a human can contribute when the machine can handle the first draft? That's something I think we're all going to be figuring out together.